inform everybody that the event is being recorded, but they've set it up very specifically so that no attendees will be in the shots. So, unless you're hoping to make your acting debut. Perfect. Well, I'm just going to do a quick introduction about, I'm not even going to use this. Can you guys hear me okay if I don't use this? Okay. It's just kind of in the way then. So I'm going to just do a quick introduction about the Portland Elder Care Council so you guys can you click it for me? Yeah. Understand a little bit about what it is. So it was started almost 5 years ago. We can't believe we're coming up on this, but it's a group of local female business owners that are all senior care centers. So we're a nonprofit organization, and our goal has always been to provide free education for older adults and their families about planning for, you know, these last few decades of your life and making sure it's comfortable, making sure everything's covered. And then we work very closely as a referral group. So when things come up with clients, as they always do, we have resources that we can reach out to really quickly to support the people in the community that we work with. So this is just a rundown of our team really quick so you can kind of see some of the resources we have. I'm Bess, as some of you have already met me. I'm the president of the group, but I'm also a senior placement specialist. Mariah Hurlbert is our vice president right now. She's our financial advisor. Jamie Levin is our treasurer. She's our social engagement specialist. She has a great background. Whitney Ziegler is our professional organizer and right sizing senior move manager. Suzanne Rowe is our professional guardian and fiduciary expert. Melissa Swantek, she's here today. She's our aging and life care manager, and she also has a background in occupational therapy. Jennifer Trundy is our elder law attorney. Dr. Aaliyah Al-Humaid is our geriatrician, our primary care physician that's part of the group. Marianne Ginta is our end-of-life doula. Nora King, our Medicare plan specialist, and Katie Sherman is our newest member, our senior real estate specialist. And we are in the midst of finding a new in-home care agency that's going to be part of the group to support this. So a really nice, well-rounded group. So to get things started, I'm going to turn it back over to Whitney and her team so she can talk to us about right-sizing all of our special items.
Thanks, Bess. Good question. We hadn't talked about that yet. Would you like it to be available to you?
Sure.
Okay. Then it will be.
Appreciate it. Okay.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Do we want to let them know they can sign up? We can email it also.
Yeah, go for it.
If you want also at the back table, we have a sign up sheet. We can also email everybody a copy of it if you want to put your email address down there.
Yes, and other resources as well. We have an organizing guide, a free 30-page ebook on how to organize different rooms in your home. We also have a flyer on right-sizing sentimental items and one on how to Swedish death clean. So we're happy to send you those resources afterwards. So, you ready? All right. I need a lot of help from y'all today. I am getting ready to move, and I Swedish death cleaned my house, but I've got this mystery box of items with the sentimental stuff, and I'm feeling stuck, and I'm hoping that you can help me, and I'm hoping you can help too, Jess, help me brainstorm my way through this, okay?
Happy to. Let's do it.
All right. Ta-da-da. Oh, yeah. The mystery box. I heard an oh dear over here. You probably don't have any of these things in your homes, I'm guessing, right?
No, everybody's gotten rid of everything they don't use on a daily basis, right?
Yes. Okay. What do we have here? I don't know if anybody in here likes to read like I do. I probably read a couple books a week. Love books. Let me go of. Yeah. I know we work with folks who oftentimes maybe have a whole room, a library in their home of books, and books can be something that we're very attached to, have a lot of memories of. So Jess, help me. How can I right-size my books?
Well, I think you would want to start with, am I actually going to read this book again? Am I just holding on to a memory that I don't necessarily need a physical thing for? You know, there are also books that are photography books and things like that, books of artwork that maybe you don't want to part with, but novels and things like that that you've already read, very unlikely you're going to go back to them. So it's a good place to start. Things you know you're not going to read again. Somebody else in your community could be enjoying instead. Portland has a ton of little free libraries everywhere we can contribute to.
Yes, there you can also donate books to prisons. There's a program that does that. Sometimes local schools. The Hillsborough Public Library has a really big book sale twice a year, so we will drop off 50 boxes of books when we're clearing out a house to help prepare it for sale or doing an estate sale for a family. So that's a good resource in your local library if it's not the Hillsborough one. How about you all? Do you have any other ideas for what to do with books? Or does anybody struggle with letting go of books?
Lots of head nods.
Yeah.
I cleared out a third of my house of books, but my husband brings them in the back door. So that's no problem. I'm not, the shelves are still full.
Sneaky.
50 boxes?
More than that, there was no limit at the Hillsborough Library. Yeah, you just need to let the friends of the Hillsborough Library know that you're coming. And they will take books in other languages too. We had a German professor who had passed away, and we were helping her family with her items. And so we had like 20 boxes of books in German, and they were really grateful to receive them. And then, they sell them twice a year at these big sales, and then they benefit the library. So it's a win-win for everybody. They also take costume jewelry for a sale twice a year. So if you have any costume jewelry that you're not wearing or you don't think you're going to wear, that's a good place to let it go to as well.
And there's also Powell's. Powell's will buy books from you. You can bring in a box or two of books. They will sell what they can for you, and then they just go ahead and donate anything that they can't sell. There's also a ton of local bookstores in Portland that will purchase older books, specialty books, books in other languages. So sometimes it can be motivating to get rid of books if you're going to get a little money for them, right?
What do we do though if we have someone bringing them in the back door?
That's tricky.
Hillsborough Library also takes vinyl albums,
Nice.
cassettes and things like that. And they have antique books. And so they're,
Nice. So for the purpose of the recording, this
for the,
this gentleman said that the Hillsborough Public Library also takes albums, vinyl albums, and antique books.
yeah, and,
Okay.
yeah, and cassettes, and, all sorts of media.
All sorts of media. That's wonderful. Wonderful. When we have family members who are maybe opposite of us, usually the couples we work with, one person is a maximalist and the other person is a minimalist. So I'm sensing from your question here. What are some things that we can do, Jess? Like, if somebody's bringing things in the back door and we're getting them out the front door.
Right. It's tricky, and you don't want to cause a rift at home, right? But I think a good, easy way to start is a nice, lighthearted conversation about the one in, one out rule. Like, you can bring 60 new books home if you want, but let's find 60 that we can donate, or 60 that we can sell, or 60 that you can give away. And, just have that reminder, like, space is limited. We can't just keep going and going and going, or, we could, but that just creates a big problem and a mess in the end anyway, right?
And a safety hazard.
And a safety hazard.
Also using a spatial limit. So maybe if those books no longer fit on the bookshelf and we're now spilling over onto the floor or into other rooms, maybe we use that spatial limit to contain the collection, and we have to curate it if it no longer fits in that space. So we can give ourselves some limits. Any other observations or questions about books? Yes.
Tape somewhere, there's no system to it. Do they just take the tape?
Are you talking about like audiobooks on CDs or? Yeah, so the Hillsborough Public Library will take them, Goodwill, Vietnam Veterans. There's a lot of different places that will take audiobooks. VHS and cassettes are a little harder. Some places won't take them anymore. Yeah, good question. Thank you. All right, let's see what I got in here next. You ready? Let's just see. So I've got a collection, Jess. I've got like a whole room full of viewfinders. And every garage sale I go to, I pick these up. So I don't know, do you collect anything, y'all? Nobody collects anything? No stamps, no spoons. Yes, it's okay. You don't have to admit it here. We won't out you here. What can I do with my collection?
Well, you could find somebody maybe a little younger who might enjoy it more frequently than you do.
Are you calling me old, Jess?
I'm just saying we're not little bitties anymore, and a little bitty might like it a little bit better than you. I think it's actually a good time to bring up another resource, which is Reclaim It. If anybody's not familiar with Reclaim It, they take in donations of all kinds of weird, kooky, old stuff, things like this, games.
Eclectic stuff.
They love eclectic stuff. So we do send a lot of things there where you think like nobody wants this, they want it. Doll heads, just random crazy things. They will take it, they sell it. They take used art supplies. So if you had a hobby at some point and you were painting or drawing and it's just been sitting on a shelf, doesn't have to go in the garbage. Things like that can also be donated.
And how many truckloads of fabric did we donate to Reclaim It recently from our estate project?
Truck plus trailer. So a truck with a big trailer on the back. I want to say we had 4 to 6 loads of just fabric from a house that we cleared out.
Oh,
And
yes.
we're talking like from there to here, like a big trailer. And brand new fabric too.
It's the quilters.
Yep.
Yes.
One big quilter, yes.
I think we could have quilted the entire state of Oregon,
Could have.
but now other people are getting to quilt with that fabric. Yes, you had a question.
Reclaim It, is that, does it have in the store or is it?
Yeah, they have a store.
Yeah.
They will take chairs with no seats. They'll take drawers with no dressers. They find uses for the craziest things. They do also have a website if you want to check it out. They have
Yeah.
a pretty comprehensive list of the kinds of things that they like.
Where are they located?
North Killingsworth. Yeah. North Killingsworth. Yeah. And twice a year they do the Craft Pots art show. So they feature artists who make things out of reclaimed materials. So if you donate things there, maybe artists will purchase them and they'll end up in an art show. You just never know.
What's the name of the art show?
Cracked Pots.
Oh, Craft Pockets.
And then, yes, they do take cracked pots as well for donation.
And they're very big on clocks. A lot of artists will take all of the mechanics out of the clocks and
Yeah.
make art pieces with those as well, which is really cool. It does not have to be an operating clock. So it's a good way to keep stuff out of the landfill and out of your home.
Yes. Other ideas for collections. So let's say I have 40 viewfinders. Maybe I could keep my favorite 3. Or if I have a collection of spoons, again, I could narrow it down and keep my favorites and create a fun way to display them. So instead of having them sit in the garage or sit in the closet because I have too many to display, I can pick the best of the best and then actually get to put them on my wall and enjoy them. So, you ready?
Boy.
Dun, dun, dun.
Who are those people with me?
I don't know.
Why do you have pictures of people you don't know?
They're related to me somehow, and I feel like I can't throw my relatives in the trash.
Okay.
I need some help.
That's a tough one. I mean, we don't know them, so there's not really.
Do you know this person?
I have lots of those at home.
Yeah, old photos. I mean, paring down photos for me personally would be fairly easy. You know, I've inherited boxes of photos from family members, and I'll go through them and like, I don't know who that is, and it goes in a separate box. Another great resource is Scrap. Scrap will actually take photos
Hmm.
of anybody and anything. They put them in big baskets and sell them, and people create art projects out of those. And you could do a lot of cool stuff with old black and white photos that they don't have any emotional connection to you. It feels like you're throwing them in the trash, but really, it's just a piece of paper. Their memory is going to be living somewhere else in the world.
I guess I could let them go if someone else could do something creative with them, like make a postcard or collage or something. So, is everyone familiar with Scrap PDX? It's downtown near PGE Park, and it's a nonprofit that was created by school teachers, and they take different arts and crafts supplies. It's a little bit more limited than Reclaim It. They don't want your doll heads at Scrap, but they'll take your old photos from the 1970s or earlier. Oh, yeah.
What's the name again?
Scrap. 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 Like a scrap of paper. Yep. Yeah. All right. Any other ideas for old photos? No. Okay. And a lot of people think that they can put these in the recycling bin, but unfortunately you can't with photo paper because it has chemicals in it. So just kind of a heads up.
You could give them to the person in your family who's doing the genealogy.
Excellent. That's a great idea. Thank you. Mary?
I got negatives, photo negatives from back in the day. Not quite maybe older than 1970, but
Put from back in the day. So if you're doing some photo organizing, you want to hang on to your negatives because you get a better quality print from them if you ever need to reproduce, or you want to have your negatives scanned and have your photos organized. And we can give you a great referral to a local family-run business called the Family Archivist, where you can just bring your whole collection of photos and your old cameras and devices. Just bring everything, electronic, physical photos. You can take it to them and they will organize it, talk with you about your goals, give you a free quote, and they can do it from A to Z. They can do all the scanning of those negatives. Yeah, but otherwise, negatives do have to go into the garbage if you're letting them go. Yeah.
Luckily, they're small. It's not a mountain of trash, I would hope.
I hope not. If you have like a lot of those, some people have x-rays from old injuries. And if you have a lot of them, there's a little bit of silver in them. And there's companies that will purchase those because they extract the silver out of the x-rays. Random, right? The things we learn. Okay, you ready? I'm kind of cheating here because I already told you the answer to this one, or one of the answers. So this is a necklace I wore on my wedding day, Jess.
Let's see. When was the last time you wore it?
On my wedding day, Jess.
Do you have photos from your wedding day?
Why, yes.
Then I feel like you have a visual memory of it, and maybe it's something that could be passed down to another family member.
I don't have any kids.
Well, then
I got
donate it
where can I donate it?
a million different places. Is it valuable?
Costume jewelry.
Costume jewelry would just,
Was anybody taking notes earlier? Hillsborough Public Library, yes.
Yep, Reclaim It will also take costume jewelry.
Awesome. Okay. Any other ideas for jewelry? Does anyone else have jewelry that they need to right size? No. Oftentimes we have clients who have, maybe it's not costume jewelry, it's real jewelry, but it's something they inherited from a loved one or a family member. And so they don't want to let it go, but it's not to their taste. In fact, it might be something they consider hideous. So then, what do you do with these things, right? Do they just sit in your jewelry box? Sometimes we suggest that people have them remade into something that they will enjoy and wear. So, for example, when my mom got divorced, she took her rings and had them melted down into 2 pairs of earrings and gave a pair to my aunt for being such a wonderful support for her. And then she had a pair for herself. So we've seen that happen. Other thoughts about jewelry?
Costume jewelry, I would think, is fairly easy need to let go of, anything of value that, it can be expensive to have things remade into a new piece. If it's something super sentimental, obviously it's worth the time and the effort to do that. But you could also consign it. There's lots of consigners around the city that
Oh.
are more than willing to take a look. You can even send pictures and not have to go anywhere and just set out feelers and see if anybody's interested in trying to sell it for you.
All right, let's see what we got in here. My prom dress.
Boy.
Do you think at 46 I could like wear this again? And
I mean, it certainly looks like it would fit, but is it your style these days?
not so much.
So much?
Not so much. So, any ideas, y'all? I had such great memories wearing this dress. I don't want to just donate it to Goodwill,
You don't have any resources for prom dresses?
No, I have a few of my wife's, but I figured I have to recycle.
No.
We could recycle it through Ridwell. We could do fabric recycling. Yeah.
Could be recycled, but if they're still wearable, there are also nonprofits that cater to prom dresses for lower income ladies going to prom. So that's another option. I can't think of one off the top of my head, but it should be a quick Google.
With a woman's name, Gloria, no?
We'll have to Google it, but there are definitely sites. Two, I have a bunch of college t-shirts. I could have them made into a quilt with the 6 truckloads of fabric that we donated. I could. Yeah. Any other ideas for clothes that are sentimental or special?
Make something new out of it.
Make something new out of it. Awesome. Could do a quilt. We also have an organizing colleague who makes bags, like out of old clothes that people have. She gets really creative and makes these beautiful totes. All right. Well, thanks for your ideas. I guess I will let this go so someone else can enjoy it.
Please.
All right. So, along those lines, these are the shoes that go with the dress.
Oh boy.
I like me some shoes,
I
Jess.
see.
I don't know if any of you collect shoes. Any shoe horses in here? Clothes horse people? No?
Those are gorgeous.
I know. I wish I could still do heels. It's
Days are over.
those days are gone, I am afraid to say. Yes. What do y'all think?
Costume shop.
Costume shop? Yeah? Maybe a theater company? You never know. Yeah, a little like Dorothy-ish.
Did they mention a theater group maybe?
Theater group, yes, indeed. Yeah, there.
You mentioned that take the prom dresses. Do they take the shoes as well, or other like accessories for prom?
Yes. Yeah, they do take accessories for prom. Yeah. Awesome. I've also, oh, yes,
Near
please.
St. Vincent's at the Cedar Mill Library, which is also part of Washington County, they have a second edition store. that
Yes.
collection of shoes
Wonderful.
and benefits the library too.
Yes, the Cedar Mill second edition resale store. Great idea. Thank you. I've also seen in my neighborhood a woman who's a gardener, and she takes old shoes and she plants succulents in them, and then they're on her front porch, and they're really cute. And she does that with old teacups too, but you can get really creative with everything.
That is very creative.
We'll put these here and we'll click them 3 times. All right.
What else you got?
Oh man, this is a hard one. Journal. Anybody in here have old journals? Yes. All right, ideas. No, you're like, I never journaled.
What if you actually still read? Yeah.
Well, if you read them, enjoy them, keep them. Yeah, but I have 50, and they fill a couple boxes, and they're really heavy, and I just don't have room at my new place. So
Lining, maybe
That's a good idea, combining them and just keeping the meaningful parts.
Scrapbook of special pages from each of them.
Scrapbook. Awesome. Very cool. Any other thoughts about journals?
You could read them and then alter the great American novel.
I could read them and author the great American novel. I like it. I do have some from my Peace Corps days, so when I retire, I'll write it.
I'll be on the lookout.
Okay.
To the genealogist in the family.
I don't know that I want my relatives to read these. I don't know that they're for public consumption, but that could be an idea.
Research.
Research. Has anyone ever heard of a burn box? Does anybody have one? This is the box that you put your personal items in that you want to enjoy while you're alive, but in your estate planning documents, you give your loved ones instructions to not open this box. They don't look at anything in this box. They don't read anything in this box. They burn this box when you pass on to your next adventure. So it's called a burn box, and this idea comes from Margareta Matheson, and she's the author of the Swedish death cleaning book, The Gentle Art of Swedish Death Cleaning. So I cannot take credit for this idea, but I like it. And I think this journal is going to end up in my burn box. So, just a thought. All right, we'll put it with the shoes. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Grandma's China.
Does it have a lid?
I didn't bring it today, but yes, it does have a lid. Are you interested in it? You don't want you don't want to take this home.
No, goodwill if it doesn't have a lid.
But it's my grandma's Christmas china.
Do you use it?
Well, once a year. Once a year for the holidays. I like to make tea and remember her because we always had tea together. But I do have two big boxes full. It's a place setting of 24.
Maybe just a teacup?
I like that idea. Just keep the teacup, maybe the teapot, and let the rest go. Just kind of could maybe do that.
That is what I did
Yeah.
with my grandmother's china. It doesn't necessarily match my style or my taste, but it was beautiful and one of the few physical things that I had of hers. And I sat down with my mom with this big set of china. She took 2 teacups and saucers. I took 2 teacups and saucers and a sugar bowl, and we let the rest go. And that
Nice.
piece is still in my kitchen. I see it. I think of my grandmother. It makes me feel happy. I don't need 45 pieces to remember her by, though.
Awesome. It's great. So someone mentioned replacements.com as a resource. We also have a local company called Smith Brothers China, and they have an eBay store, and they have, I think, over 45,000 pieces in the store. And Dave lives in Cedar Mill, and he'll come out to your house for free and take a look at your china, and he kind of has the heart of a teacher. He'll tell you all about it, who made it, how old it is. Like he'll let you know if there's any value or not. And then if you're interested, he'll give you an offer for your china too, and take it away.
I decided to just yell.
That works for me. All right. Oh my goodness. Dun dun dun. Love letters.
Your love letters?
None of your business. Does anybody have some old school letters? Right? For those of us who remember actually writing letters. Who can write cursive in this room? Yes. Okay. I'm seeing Leilani's hand didn't go. Old letters. Ideas, folks. I got boxes and boxes. Letters between my parents. My own love letters from high school. You know those little notes people folded into triangles and you put them in the locker? Yes. Yes.
Were they written by a family member that was a veteran?
Were they written by a family member that was a veteran? The ones from my grandfather, yes.
Those can be sent to the letter writing project and they archive them for historical value.
Okay, I'm just repeating this into the microphone for the recording. So they can be sent to the letter writing project and they'll be recorded for historical purposes.
Excellent.
That's cool. That's a new resource that I didn't know about. Thank you. Cool. You sent a box? Great.
Good.
Wonderful. What other ideas do folks have for old letters? Could burn box? Yes. Person after my own heart. I could maybe scan some too.
You could take a couple special love letters and make them the backing for a framed photo of the lovebirds.
Nice. I like it. Okay. Any other thoughts? No? All right.
Do you want to elaborate a tiny bit on letters, though? A lot of us, myself included, up until a few years ago, greeting cards seemed to be very, very hard for people to let go of. And I was getting to the point where, like, now I have a whole box of greeting cards, and honestly, I didn't go back and ever read them again. But in my head, I need to keep them. They were special. They have special words. Some were from my mom. Some were from my grandmother. I sat down one day. I think I was sick at the time, so I wasn't leaving the house. I wasn't doing anything. And I just took pictures of all of my greeting cards. I put them into one folder on my phone, moved it to my computer, and now someday in the future, when my memory's not so great and I don't, necessarily remember all of the people throughout my life, I can go right to that folder and just start reading through all of my old greeting cards.
Awesome idea. Thank you. Anybody else hold on to greeting cards? Yeah, I know those are tough, but sometimes they have to keep the best of the best or scan them. We also have a lot of folks who collect blank greeting cards because you get them in the mail for free. And we had in the same house that had the 6 truckloads of fabric. I think we had about 10 boxes of cards. 15 boxes. Did those end up at Reclaim It or scrap?
Because of the sheer volume, they ended up at multiple places. We sent some to Reclaim It, some to scrap, some to Goodwill.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
It was a lot, but someone else will use them and receive them, enjoy them, love them.
Yep.
It'll be good.
And really, you're not going to send more than a handful of blank greeting cards in the course of a year, right? So having boxes of them, don't need to have 50 for every occasion, maybe just 10 to 12 blanks that you can pull out in a bind.
Yeah, agreed. All right, y'all. Thanks for hanging in here with me. Whew, this is some emotional heavy lifting here. All right. Bam! Good question. What is it? It is a pencil holder made by my niece in their art class. So I keep it on my desk with pencils in it. But, my niece was a very prolific potter for one semester. So I have maybe, 20 of these. Any thoughts? Keep one, someone said. Keep one.
Give one to the relatives as a gift.
If I had that many relatives, I could do that. Give them away as a gift. But they were gifts to me, so I'm a little bit worried if I re-gift them. Like, what if my niece finds out? Uh-oh. Or heaven forbid I re-gift it to the person who gave it to me.
Put them in the burn box. They'll destroy.
The burn box isn't big enough. Yes.
Take it to the neighborhood elephant.
White elephant.
The white elephant party. Oh, that could work too. Yeah. Anybody else have gifts in their house and you're feeling too guilty, having a hard time letting them go? Maybe pull them out like at the holidays when they come to visit you and put it on display. Yeah, any other ideas for gifts? No? Okay, if this ends up in your purse, it wasn't me. Yeah, sorry.
I'm legitimately wondering how to get rid of pottery. Like,
Okay.
I have pieces. I was in a pottery class and I have lots of them. So I'm like,
Yeah.
if they did not turn out well, I don't use them. I don't want to give them. I don't know what to do besides throwing them away.
Reclaim it.
I was just gonna say, reclaim it. Yep.
Another thing, if it's something like that, you could kind of get them out slowly where it doesn't feel like your whole niece's semester is going out the door at the same time. You can
Yeah.
go to dinner at a friend's house one night and stick some flowers in it, and then it's their problem to deal with when you leave.
Say, I don't need this back. Thank you very much. But yeah, reclaim it. We'll definitely, and even if you have broken pieces of pottery, I think they take those too because people smash them into pieces and make mosaic artwork with them. Or if you've got old chipped plates, Yeah. Well, thanks for your ideas on gifts. Oh my, oh my. I don't know if y'all remember the whole stitch and bitch phase. I've got yarn, I've got knitting needles. Plus, I was an art major, so I like to paint. Got all these creative hobbies.
When was the last time you painted?
Wow. Maybe like when I last wore those shoes.
Are those paints even good anymore?
I don't know. That's a good question.
And I see lots of times
Don't know.
we will have people hang on to art supplies and stuff because one day they're going to pick it back up again. But then I pull out the box and the paints are dried up and the yarn's all tangled and moths have gotten into it. And it's upsetting and sad, but sometimes we hold on to things that actually aren't even usable anymore.
What if they are usable?
Lots of people who would love to use them.
I mean, why can't I hold on to this just in case I ever start knitting again?
You can do whatever you want to do, but you brought this
All
box
right.
here because you wanted to try to downsize some things. Is it something that's really bringing you joy every day of your life?
No. All right. Good point. Good point. You reminded me about my big rocks. Okay. All right. I will donate it. Ready to catch?
Another reclaim it, craft supplies, yarns, Rose
Yeah,
Haven also takes yarn.
Scrap. Yeah, Rose Haven, if you're unfamiliar, is a day shelter for Rose Haven. It's located in Northwest Portland, and it's a day shelter for women and children and gender minorities. And they serve 200 people a day who come in for meals and showers and food, and they also do arts and crafts. So they take yarn. And our team is going to volunteer there in October. So if you're looking for a way to get involved in the community, it's a really good place to help out. They do take clothing donations. They need to be like almost new or gently used. And they also take, food that is portable, like granola bars, canned food, kitchen items for people who are coming out of houselessness and they need some items to set up their new spaces. So, yeah.
They're also one of the only places that you can donate toiletries. So toiletries like that are 3/4 or more full, so close to new, but not necessarily brand new.
Yeah.
Nobody else will take those things. Rose Haven will. So
Yep.
lotions and soaps and deodorants that are unused, things like that.
All the free toothbrushes you get every time you go to the dentist, but maybe it's not your ideal toothbrush or you don't need the little floss. You can donate those too. Yeah. They take lots of different things. Feminine hygiene products, like maybe you've got, even if the box is open, they'll repackage them into smaller packages for people. Incontinence products as well.
Rolling suitcases.
Rolling suitcases, backpacks, camping gear, anything that can be used by somebody who is houseless. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Oh my gosh, we're getting to the end of this box. You all have been so helpful, so amazing. I'm feeling lighter already. Whew. All right, we got a couple more doozies in here though. Paperwork. All this financial paperwork, medical paperwork. Like, do I need to keep this? What do I do with this?
We have very specific guidelines for paperwork, like 7 years of taxes, not 25 years of taxes.
What?
Medical records,
okay.
generally now everything is kind of condensed. I know everybody doesn't use apps for their doctors or hospital records or anything, but they do get stored all in one place now, so you don't necessarily have to have physical copies. Anything that you need to have a record of, you could always scan and have on your computer. I would say 80% of the paper that we all keep, we don't need to keep at all.
Yeah. Does anybody have a little extra paper in their life? A lot of deniers in this room. It's okay. You don't have to admit it here. It's okay. We do work, with people, and maybe it might just be specifically paper, and we're doing a paper organizing session and in multiple sessions.
Do with file drawers.
Donate them.
Get them out of there.
Habitat for Humanity will be grateful to take your old filing cabinets. There's also some office supply stores that will take them, but I think they might have a glut of filing cabinets because we're using less paper these days, which is a good thing, I think. So,
Yeah,
all right.
I've gotten myself condensed to a small fireproof safe, and that contains
Wow.
anything financial that my son would need access to, anything important of past people, my mom, death certificates, things like that. My taxes are all on my computer, but even if they weren't, it would still fit in there because I have about that much more space.
Nice. So speaking of that, when we're doing paper organizing with filing cabinets, should we maybe leave a little bit of room and only fill them 80% full to, okay. Just checking, because sometimes people will stuff them full and then you can't get anything else in there, right? And then you start piling it on the side and on the floor. We have some clients who have used their floor as the filing cabinet, which is not really safe. We had a client with 6 inches deep of paper on her floor in her house. So
I've had one client with 12 boxes of shredding go out the door in one shot. It's
yeah,
I think, get really attached to, but what if I need it?
yes.
And most times we don't need it, and if we do, usually we can get another copy.
What about all those magazines though? Because I'm going to read them someday, and there's a lot of really great information in there. What if I'm missing out if I don't read those?
It's very unlikely you're missing anything. I've never held on to magazines. This one's a tough one for me. It's not something that's ever been something that was hard for me to get rid of, but most people can take a pass through a magazine in 5 minutes and see that there's not much in there, and if there is, snap a picture of the recipe with your phone, and there you have it forever with 0 paper.
That might work for some folks. Other of us, though, we need that tangible reminder, because if it's on my phone, I'm going to forget that it exists because I can't see it. It's out of sight, it's out of mind.
Or you could keep the recipe and not the whole magazine.
I could do that. I like that. I had to set a rule for myself, so I just keep it for 2 months, and then when the next one comes in, I got to let one go, even if I haven't read it, and it's hard, but
Yeah, I would say
Do
the
it.
1 in, 1 out rule applies to pretty much everything in your house other than consumables. If you buy a new shirt, let one go. If your new magazine comes in, flip through the last one, make sure you have what you need, let it go.
yes.
Question about shredding. We're trying to keep up with it now, but what if you have several bags or boxes of shredding? Do you have a recommendation?
We do. If you don't want to deal with hauling them out to Office Depot, you can have them shredded there. It's not super fun because you have to put all the papers into their container through this little slot. But there are also companies that will come and pick it up for you. Portland, I can't remember.
It's called Data Safe, and it's based out of Tigard, and they'll take other things to destroy too, like hard drives, flash drives, CDs, and they'll either come pick it up from you and take it to their place in Tigard and destroy it, and they'll give you a certificate of destruction, or it's called Data Safe. Like, yeah. FedEx, yep.
Stuff into a slot.
Yeah.
Trash bin.
You just watch them do it. And so we just did 60 pounds.
Good for you.
Oh, that's what we just gave it to them and they said, you have to stay and watch us do it.
Good.
And it was, I felt, like I said, a lot lighter.
Congratulations, that's a lot of paper.
That's awesome. 60 pounds lighter. So you lost 60 pounds in 10 minutes.
You look
That's- you do. That's awesome. We did have the one house that had the 6 truckloads of fabric. I think we had 24 boxes of shredding, so we had them come out and do it. You can also have them do it on site if you want to see it done, because for some of us, we want that peace of mind. So, and there's also free community shred events throughout the year. You donate a couple cans of food, and you can bring some boxes of shredding. So that's fun too. You all ready? Thank you for hanging in here with me. I've got 2 more things. I don't suppose anyone in here has any artwork from their children or grandchildren, or maybe new parents like Bess who has a baby might one day have tons of kiddo artwork. What do you think? What should I do? It's so cute.
It is very
And it's precious.
Take photographs again,
Take
take pictures.
pictures, store it on my computer.
On
Yeah.
Instagram, there's some companies where you can put it all in a box and send it, and they put it into a bound book.
That's cool. So we could send it to a company in a box and they put it into a bound book for us.
Okay, so old school moms didn't have Instagram. Every year when my son was younger, I'd have a 2-inch binder, and for every year I would allow myself to keep 2 inches of his artwork. I'd hole punch it, put it in the binder. Once the binder was full, if I wanted something else to go in, something had to come out. So at the end of the year, I had 1 binder for every year, and you know, it's still a lot. I kept a lot. I feel like I still kept a lot. It was hard for me to let go of his artwork, but
Yeah.
they come home with so much. So if
It's
it's
true.
a grandkid, maybe you get a half-inch binder, you know?
Then you have 20 grandkids. You can
Person books, you can put them on your bookshelf.
there you go. We've also worked with clients again on the spatial limits. So maybe each kiddo gets a clear Rubbermaid bin that's, you know, yay big, and whatever artwork fits in there they get to keep, and then they have to learn how to curate their stuff. And so that's kind of a practice that you could use as well. All right.
The thing I did was I had a whole bunch of stuff from one of my sons.
Mm-hmm.
And so I managed to get it in a suitcase when we went to San Diego. He and his son
Okay.
sat and went through it. And I had so much fun watching them do
Oh,
that.
that's really sweet.
Keep it after that.
That's really sweet. I thought you were going to tell me you took it to San Diego, this suitcase full of drawings and stuff, and you just kind of.
Left it. Well, I actually did. And it wasn't as painful.
Really sweet.
That is really
I'll
sweet.
never for- And I took a video of them looking at the pictures and laughing. That was just priceless.
And that video
Aw.
is probably way more
Yeah.
special than
Yeah,
the
than
actual.
the actual paper, yeah.
Yeah, that's really great because I think the kids' artwork is one of the things that our clients struggle with the most. It's really, really hard to let that go. So.
Yeah, I'm a professional organizer, and I had a hard time letting it go. So we all have our things.
We all have our things. That's true. All right. My final item, and I'm sure none of you in this room have any unfinished projects at your house. Never, right? And maybe it's not so sentimental, but there are some sentimental projects. Like maybe there's a scrapbook that I've been planning to make for the last 20 years, and maybe I haven't got around to it yet. Ideas, projects. The list is endless. Endless projects.
Well, this is a question for like a paint pen like that where it's dried up. How can you actually dispose of it? Like, do you take it to Home Depot or?
I can actually curbside recycle this. They'll take it if it's dry. Yeah. But if it's half full or more, I can take it to Habitat for Humanity or to Metro, and they'll recycle it and make it into other paint that people can buy at a discounted rate.
Or if it's less than that and not dried up, Sherman-Williams, I don't know if all locations, but some locations will take them for recycling, or they could go to Metro, which is not convenient for most people, so
But
I would try paint stores first.
paint stores, Habitat for Humanity, yes, sir.
You have like small amounts too, put kitty litter in it. That'll absorb the moisture.
Okay.
dry out, and then
Nice.
recycle it or just throw it away. On that, I would throw it away because
You can actually curbside recycle it in aerosol cans too of paint if they're empty. You could put aerosols in curbside. I know it's quite shocking because other things you would think you could recycle, you can't. But yeah, with the kitty litter, that's a really good idea if you have a little bit left and you need to dry it out.
Let all
Yeah.
the gas out of those spray cans.
Let the gas out of the spray cans, yeah, and then recycle them. Good idea. Something that a lot of our clients struggle with is just having endless projects on their to-do list, and maybe an unrealistic expectation of how many they can get done or what they can accomplish. So we kind of sit down and make a list of those projects and estimate how much time it'll take. And it's usually more time than the rest of our lifespan. So, then we go through and talk about what are our big rocks, what are our values, what are the most important things to accomplish, what kind of legacy do we want to leave? And that can help people narrow down their list or let things go. But any other ideas on projects? I'm curious if anybody wants to share if they have a sentimental project that they're working on. Ideas?
As to the paint can,
Mhm.
if you're going to have a project, take a felt tip marker and write the date 6 months from today. Put it back on the counter in 6 months and it's still sitting there. That's a subtle hint.
I love it. And I might even put a reminder on my phone 6 months from now. Boop. I did that.
Right.
Yeah, I love that. That's something to do too, is you can box up sentimental items, put them on a shelf, put a note on it, do not open, but donate on this date. Yep, you're with me, aren't you? Wait, did you write this? Trick with the clothing, you want to talk about the hangers?
Lots of people have trouble getting rid of clothing. We have more than we probably wear. I'm even guilty of it. I will go in my closet and go, I'm wear this today,
That's
and
really
it's always
pretty.
the same thing. Not my prom dress. I'm not that bad.
You could wear that under another dress like a slip.
Don't encourage her. We're trying to get rid of the dress.
I'm helping.
I do suggest often to clients flipping your hangers backwards. So at the end of each season, at the end of winter, at the end of summer, everything that's still backwards is like, wow, I did not wear that for 6 months. I can probably let it go. It makes it a lot easier to let things go when you realize visually you're looking, I did not wear this. I've been saying for 3 years that I wear this shirt and I can't get rid of it, but I haven't worn it and it's time for somebody else to enjoy it. And I
Yes.
think you'd be surprised how many backwards hangers you will have at the end of each season.
It's true, even for a minimalist with a capsule wardrobe like me. Let me tell you. So thank you for hanging in here with me and helping everybody with my mystery box. I feel so much lighter. Well, hello. Thank you for stating the obvious. But I'm curious, what questions do you have? What are your struggles with sentimental items? Yes.
this is always a
God.
problem. But sometimes you'll receive, let's say, from like religious orders or something, they'll send you a little pamphlet.
Yeah.
The ones I love are like Catholic Charities will send you a letter asking for money, and they put a little medallion with an angel on it.
Yes.
Say more God darn it than I should. But anyway, the deal is you run across these things and you've had them for years, and
Yeah.
they're just tokens, but tchotchkes. And
Yeah.
I have this guilt, sort of like, how do you get rid of the flag? There are certain rules. How do you get rid of this stuff?
Yeah.
And yeah, so you can probably see my consternation here.
Yeah.
I want to throw it, but on the other hand, I want to make sure that if it's had a great blessing on it, that I'm respecting it and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I'm hopeful for the people that are already here. Man, burn pile.
Well, some things you just can't burn, especially metal. It's a little harder. Yeah. No.
Will or Value Village would probably love to have it.
Yeah.
And also,
Yeah.
I hate to sound like a broken record, but reclaim it.
That's what I was thinking
Because that
too.
idea of being turned into an art project, and it's
Hmm.
taking on a whole new life that's not sitting in a drawer in your house.
Yeah.
I would also go a step further and suggest the do not mail list, that there's a national do not mail registry that you can sign up for.
Yeah.
It will take you off all the junk mail lists so that you're only getting mail from the ones that you are really interested in hearing from.
Takes a little while. It takes like 6 to 8 months to see the trickle slow down, but
But it does.
It's-
get almost nearly
it's worth it.
all.
yeah, it's worth pursuing. Thank you for your question. Yes.
I'm of a mindset now to get rid of things.
Yeah.
That's half the battle.
Yes.
And I want empty shelves, I want space, I don't want junk. And I have 2 boys who are minimalists, and they're married to minimalists. So there's not going to be an outlet there. They already told me, Mom, we're going to burn it all. So
Whoa.
my
Okay.
problem is the time to do it. And I just kind of got an inspiration here from something you said, that maybe I'll find a time of the week that I will dedicate every week half an hour and see
Yeah.
how much I can get done in that time. Because if I'm waiting for a block of time, it's not going to happen.
Right. It doesn't materialize.
Have recommendations on little tricks to get it done when you're a busy person?
Oh,
I think
yes.
putting it on your calendar is a good start. This way you can see it, and if you keep it as a reasonable amount of time, like if you put a block of time for 3 hours to go through stuff, it's going to pop up on your calendar. You're going to be like, I don't have 3 hours to deal with this right now. And instead of doing a half hour, you're probably just going to walk away. So if you put a reasonable amount of time once a week, I
Yeah.
think it's more likely that you will get to it, right?
I think having an accountability buddy is good too. So if you have a friend who's also in the process of right sizing, you could put it on your calendar, give them a phone call,
Chat and do it together.
open a bottle of wine, make it fun. There's also this free service called Focus Mate, and you can get 3 free sessions a week, and it's on the computer. So
Name again?
Focus Mate, MATE, focusmate.com.
FOCUS?
Yes, focusmate.com. You can get 3 free sessions a week. If you want more than that, I think it's $7 a month. It's really reasonable, but you sign up for a session, and this person shows up on the other end of the computer to hold you accountable. And so they're there with you the whole time. They're doing their own thing, but they're there. So, you can use that for anything. It could be right sizing. Maybe you got to do your taxes. And of course, it's like, for me, it's like, I got to get up at 6 a.m. and do my invoices. If I know that I've made this appointment and someone's going to be on the other end of the computer, like, I got to get out of my bathrobe and get up and do it, So that could be a way to make it fun too. Have a party, have your family and friends come over, and everybody takes an item from your house. Here's my table of goodies, come shop at my place. So, just a few ideas for you. I hope that's helpful. I saw your hand come up.
In terms of, go ahead, Pat.
I was just going to ask about recycling clothing.
Yeah.
You mentioned Ridwell, and that's the only one I can find for a resource, but curious if you know of anything else, especially, you have one sock or, you know, things with holes in it that you wouldn't necessarily do anywhere.
Goodwill is supposed to be doing textile recycling. I need to look deeper if they're still doing it or not, because I don't feel fully confident.
They don't take socks though. You'd have to hide it in a bundle of clothing. But I didn't tell you that. So, yeah, Ridwell is great though. I don't know about you. I live in unincorporated Washington County, so I can take an entire carload of stuff for my clients, and it's only $6
To Ridwell?
to Ridwell.
Oh, because I only know it for the boxes, like on you know, your porch, but.
So if you live in certain places where Ridwell's no longer allowed to operate because the garbage companies got testy about their toes getting stepped on, so in unincorporated Washington County, they have pop-up events, and in Multnomah County too. So twice a month, it's just in the parking lot at the Habitat for Humanity at the Beaverton Restore, for example. And I can literally take an entire carload of recycling. It's only $6. So like,
Don't have to be part of the Ridwell,
you do have to be a member.
Ridwell customer.
Yeah, but you don't have to go to every pop-up, so it's kind of an on-demand service. So they take styrofoam, which is really great because nowhere else takes it anymore around here. Light bulbs, batteries, rotating categories of featured things. So, yeah, you're welcome.
In terms
Yes.
of clothing again, we have a couple of World War II, uniforms.
Okay.
Yeah. I wouldn't say they were dressed, but they're the ones with all the patches.
Yeah.
Where do you recommend like recycling those things at?
It's good. I'm looking at the person behind you who told us about the letters. Do you have any resources for veterans' uniforms? Just to put you on the spot.
Sometimes historical societies are interested in them.
Yeah.
There's lots of resources.
So historical societies.
Online, there's lots of resources.
Okay.
And I had one client who had an old military nurse's uniform and an old Air Force uniform, and they were actually consigned, and she got a little bit of money for them.
Nice.
Local veterans group,
Local veterans group. That's a good idea.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
there are better options for that than just having it recycled.
Yeah. I mean, unless they're really moth-eaten, maybe. We'll see. Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
have some power tools.
Okay.
Not professional, but like I have my dad's called a shopsmith.
Mm-hmm.
Used to be very popular still. Some people buy
Yeah.
some other stuff. About a year ago, I started getting neuropathy in my hands.
Oh,
Very close again.
I'm sorry.
Some dexterity. And I basically said to myself, you're not operating this stuff anymore. I could,
Yeah.
and I'm very mindful, but I've chosen, that's my tipping point, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
But, boy, it's nice stuff, like to
Yeah.
go to a good home.
I got 3 ideas for you. One is Habitat for Humanity. Second one is the Woodworkers Guild of Oregon, also a nonprofit, and if they can't use the tools directly, then they will sell them and it will benefit the guild. Third one is it's a for-profit company. It's called Make With, like Make With Me, and it's classes that teach people life skills and sustainability skills. Like, let's say I'm a millennial and I bought a house and I don't know how to fix anything, do anything. Sorry, I don't mean to stereotype, but this is what this company was made for, is to teach people skills. So they take donations of tools and give them to people in need, people who don't have them, and then they teach them how to use them and teach them how to repair homes, or they build garden beds for a community project, things like that. And they focus on working with people of color and people from the LGBTQIA community. Yeah.
Colorblind tools.
Perfect. Love it. Yes.
I have my husband's old Letterman's jacket.
Ooh,
Do with that.
fun.
Leather
Yeah, you might be able to sell that. Other thoughts?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's something else I would try to sell too, and it sounds silly, but things that may not have historical value but are just cool, people will use for costumes. Come Halloween, dress up as someone from back in the day and wear some fancy Letterman's jacket. Where else are they going to get it if not from you?
Or I can read your mind over here saying, give it to family.
Or why don't you wear it?
That too. Yes.
Yeah, just a suggestion, in Hillsborough, there is a store that sells Boy Scout, Girl Scout uniform items, but it's called Lahais, L-A-H-A-I-E-S, I think.
Okay.
And they do Letterman, high school kids go in and order their Letterman's jacket from this place. They may have a suggestion for you.
Good idea.
It's located
Yeah.
on, I think,
Is it off Main Street?
in Maine.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen the Letterman jackets in the windows.
Yeah.
Yeah, great idea. Thank you. Yeah. Any other burning questions about sentimental items? And best, I don't even know how we're doing on time. Oh, yeah. Right. Well, thank you, everybody. I hope this was helpful. Thanks for helping me on my journey. I feel lighter. Whew. It's hard work. So, good job. Thank you.